my name is Nicole Kaplan and I'm a research fellow in astrobiology at ESA. I'm going to answer some of your questions about this exciting field of space science. When astrobiologists talk about the limits of life, we're referring to the known boundaries that life on Earth, so life as we know it, can survive. These physical and chemical conditions include temperature, radiation, water availability, and toxicity of metals in the environment, to name a few. We all know that different living organisms have different requirements for these things. For example, you and I need around 8 glasses of water a day, but that's going to be quite different for, say, a fruit fly or a cactus. Did you know that there are some life forms that can actually survive periods of time without water? You might think of a camel with its water-storing hump on its back. But if you think smaller, much smaller, there are some microorganisms that can survive complete desiccation. And this means that they can be totally dried out and go into a dormant or sleeping state. They can wake up again once they're hydrated with water. Microbial life dominate all sorts of extreme environments. The current world champion for upper temperatures for life on our planet is a strain of Archaea, found in a hydrothermal vent. It's known as strain 121. Any idea why it was called that? Maybe you already guessed. It is able to survive and even reproduce at 121 degrees Celsius. And it's this sort of life, which we call extremophile life, that astrobiologists are interested in to support theories of panspermia, where microorganisms might have needed to survive long trips around our galaxy on comets or asteroids to go and bring life to planetary bodies, perhaps including our very own home planet. In the same way that life is transferred around different habitats on planet Earth, you might like to consider that space can also act as one big system, and life is a part of it. And in some ways, that's already true. Have you ever seen a shooting star? Meteor showers are common and can be observed from many parts of the world. We already know that there has been, and still is, an exchange of materials between Earth and Mars, because we have evidence from Martian meteorites that landed here. Space is such an active place, so it's quite possible that some life forms hitched a ride from one planet to another. The difficulty is that such a ride would be impossible for you or me, because of the extreme conditions. That's why astrobiologists are studying many types of microscopic extremophiles to test out their limits and to see if maybe life was imported here from somewhere else in space. If we're planning on exploring other planets or icy moons that we think may contain or once contained life, then how do we make sure that we don't contaminate it? It's a very important thing to consider. The Committee on Space Research, COSPAR, has formulated a planetary protection policy to define different destinations in space and allocate them with appropriate levels of protection. For example, the Sun is in a category which says it's not of interest for life detection missions. So we don't have to put in special measures to make sure that we're not going to contaminate it. But it's a different story for Mars or other planets we think might harbour life. ESA has adopted this policy and acts on behalf of its member states to ensure that the requirements are met for all missions the agency is flying to or contributing to. By employing the use of clean rooms for our spacecraft and following strict sterilisation protocols, we can minimise the risk of contaminating other places and explore space in a considered way.